Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to the Four Corners podcast on the Four Corners Network. I am one of the hosts, John Punn, sitting alongside my best friend, my tag team partner in life, Christopher Rex. How are we doing today? Let's go.
We're doing good. We're doing great. We are excellent and improving.
Yes.
Today
We are excellent and improving today.
we don't have much to talk about today. We don't have much to talk about. It seems like we covered pretty much all the big news. We've been keeping up with it on a weekly basis. But we did have pretty big Raws and pretty big SmackDowns. And I could pretty much say that for about every week since Triple H has taken control. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
we had more
But
returns,
for some reason, this
more
past
surprises.
Monday was really good. This
Yeah,
past Monday seemed to like outdo a lot. Yeah, he brought back a lot of people, but just the way Raw was presented to us last week just felt big and special.
yeah. It felt like that Raw after Mania. That's what it felt like.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Sure
And
did.
I think more of that is what is needed because it's that you never know factor. And it's something I tell almost every promoter and wrestler that I talk to is it's that you have to be there, you have to watch to know what's gonna happen next. You because you don't know what's gonna happen next, honestly.
Yeah.
No one expected Brock Lesnar to come back. No one expected Seth Rollins to win the Intercontinental title. We're gonna get into all of that. But this definitely did feel like a special Raw, and it reminded me of one of those '90s Raw, those must-watch Raws. And we kicked off with our first match being Austin Theory versus Johnny Gargano, two former members of the Way, going against each
The
other one on
way,
one.
the way.
The Way. And I think
Yeah,
it was a great match. It was that indie style match, which we know Triple H is a fan of. It's the reason why he signed guys like Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa. He signed indie guys and he put them on NXT. And this was a very NXT style match. I liked it. I liked this match between Austin Theory versus Johnny Gargano.
it really was a good match, and it shows that Austin Theory is a rising star in this company. You know, it might be a slow rise, but he will get to that superstar main event status.
Well, it seemed
He
like
will. I think he will be a multiple time universal, whatever, world heavyweight champ, whatever they're going to be calling it, since the name of the title changes almost every 3 years. All right, but he will be a multiple time heavyweight champion in his future, as long as he don't get hurt.
it seemed like Vince was really trying to push him to the moon. Was really trying to give him that fast start. And when Triple H came in, it kind of like he kind of chopped him like, "All right, you're gonna earn this, kid." That's kind of what
But
it
yeah,
felt like.
I like it like that. That shoves him down our throat method. I don't like that. Roman Reigns, John Cena, Hulk Hogan. We've been through that many times. Let it slowly, gradually rise. Let his career slowly get to the top. He doesn't have to be. I think The Rock and Austin are probably the only two they did right
Well, because it
in
was
that
just
era.
it was
The
natural with them.
slow
It
rising
wasn't two guys they expected to be superstars.
main event stars.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it was two guys that got that natural, and they had no choice but to put them on the main event scene because they were getting over. They were originally mid carders when they started getting over. They were mid card guys,
Yeah.
kind of stuck in what they were gonna do, and they just blasted to superstardom because they had that natural chemistry with the fans.
And honestly, I think it was a mistake to put the money in the bank contract on him.
Yeah,
He's not ready for the belt. And to have him lose when he cashes in, like it defeats the whole monster push that you are putting behind him.
yeah.
You
Well,
know,
again, everything
so I think
kind of changed mid, through the middle of all this, everything changed. So you kind of can't blame him or what's going on right now. It's kind of like we said, Triple H is doing cleanup right now. He's doing whatever he can to try to fix the things. Okay, Triple H is the type of person which I a lot of fans may not agree with me with this, but when you think about the pattern of what Triple H has done, he listens to what the fans want. He really does.
he does.
He really
Yep, yep,
does.
yep, yep.
Maybe not on screen when he's playing a heel authority role. No, that's his job to make you hate him. but he listens. He listened and he sees what we say on social media, and he sees what we say about Austin Theory. All right, it's too quick, too quick. Not saying we don't like him or he's not talented. It's too quick. He just came in. Let us like him first. And now it's like, okay, we're gonna push him down the card a bit, rebuild him. Because there's nothing more that rebuilds somebody than a breaking point, than pushing them so far down where they have nothing left. That's when you really see the build of a new character. And that's in life, in real life, and that's also in wrestling story, because it's a real story everyone can feel. Okay, they broke him down to be this little. Now let's see what he can do, because you can't go any further from here, right? You can't go any further down from here. You can only go up. That's what I want to see with Austin Theory. I want to see them break him down, break him down, break him down, lose the money in the bank. The only thing he has, the only thing that means anything, the only thing that has any meaning to him right now, you know, lose that, lose it all, and has to rebuild himself. Who is Austin Theory without Johnny Gargano? Who is Austin Theory without Vince McMahon? Who is Austin Theory without the money in the bank?
Mhm. Yeah, you make a lot of good points. I gotta say that would be the way to do it with him, especially now that he has the money in the bank. I feel he's not gonna win it when he cashes in.
No.
There's just with the way they're building Roman Reigns right now. There's no other champion on Raw. I mean, what is gonna be like? The long term with this. He's not even teasing to cash it in. He's nowhere near Roman Reigns.
That's
They're
like
on
I
two
said,
different shows.
break him down, break him to he can be as little as he can. Take it all from him, and see where he can go from there. And I think that's how you build any type of character in wrestling. Like, okay, if we're not getting the reaction that we need from them, we got to go to the building blocks again, right? We got to see what's gonna work and what's not gonna work.
Right,
Now,
right.
in our second match, we had an involvement in one of our favorite storylines going on right now, and that's the Rey Mysterio Judgment Day storyline, specifically with Rey Mysterio and his son Dominic. We have Rey Mysterio defeat Chad Gable with Otis in a singles match, and Dominic Mysterio makes his little appearance and attacks his father.
Yeah, so I feel this segment coincides with what we just saw afterwards on SmackDown, because after they did this whole beatdown of Ray by Dominic, he goes over to Triple H on SmackDown and quits. So I feel they're just ending our favorite storyline right now, Chris.
I don't.
This was the best thing I seen going on Raw on both shows. And then he goes over to SmackDown, and now he's number one contender for Gunther's Intercontinental title. So I'll just So it feels like I feel like they're sort of just putting an end to
Enter the
our favorite
storyline.
storyline.
I I
So
I don't I don't think they're putting an end to it. We'll talk about that when we get to the SmackDown, but it does alter the happenings. It does alter the
yeah,
feud.
because they're making Dominic bigger at the expense of his father, taking his father off of Raw. Yeah, he's still in the Judgment Day, but that just kills his storyline. I feel like what are they gonna do now with him?
Yeah.
They're gonna do the AJ Styles OC gimmick, that
Who
rivalry,
who knows?
but that just leaves that rise of Dominic just lingering.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I feel that the payoff of this is that match. We have to see that match.
We
If
go.
we
We
don't see
have
that match, what was the point of everything?
we have our third match of Raw, which was Candice LeRae defeating Bayley, which I think this was another great women's match. You're seeing a lot more spotlight on the woman now that Triple H is taking control. This again, great wrestling action. It was a good episode of Raw as far as wrestling action, as far as promos, as far as surprises. Um, and
And I
to
like
see
what
what
he did
Damage
there.
Control is doing, I like the stable. I like the stable of Damage Control.
And I like him giving Candice LeRae the win over Bailey,
Yeah.
and not somebody like a Shotzi. He gave her that big win over a former multiple time champion. You know, So I like that booking there, that match. And Candice LeRae that fights somebody on the mid lower card. That was a good win. It puts her on the map. It puts that spotlight on her right now.
In our fourth match, we had a handicap match. Almost defeats two local competitors in a handicap match. This is classic wrestling 101 squash match. Get Almost over as a big monster heel. He could beat two men.
But I feel they've been doing that for months. I think they can move on to what's next for him.
Yeah, I feel like even since his debut, it's kind of been that same of he takes on lower level talent or jobbers or guys they just bring in, as extras and stuff. And that's been mostly. He still has yet to really. Yes, he was tag team champions. He had to run with AJ Styles, but nothing really he could put his stamp on it. You know what I mean? Like, and it seems like they're building this thing with him and Braun Strowman, which that could be something. That could be something. But for right now, and what the how his run has been so far, it's same old shit. Honestly, it's been same old
mediocre
shit.
At that.
Yeah, it's just
mediocre at that.
I'm tired of seeing him take on these guys that we know aren't gonna win. And even not that we know they're not gonna win. That we're like, okay, this is the bathroom break. Like we know what's gonna happen here. It's predictable. It's predictable.
At this age in wrestling, squash matches like that shouldn't even exist anymore.
I think
that the common fan already knows what a squash match is.
I think it's more for evaluating talent. I think that's really because that's always what it kind of has been for. It's to put over the bigger talent and to kind of evaluate talent and see, okay, even if it's 3 to 5 minutes in the ring with somebody, you could see their bumps, their footwork. You could tell a lot in 3 to 5 minutes about a wrestler. And it's kind of to see how their attitude is, how they perform, how they react to being in front of this many people, because it's probably the largest audience they performed in front of. I think that's kind of more of the reason they do it. So it's to not put on a dark match, but you can see how they react when the cameras are rolling. They're on live TV.
I feel that could be some of it, but when you look back at all the people Umaga squashed, all the people Ryback squashed, how many of them had you really seen again? All the people now Omos is squashing. Like when they did this with the big people to make these people look like monsters, and they brought in all these enhancement talents, I don't think they were looking at these enhancement talents at all, to be honest. Because how many of them really came back or even got a chance to be a superstar?
I mean,
I don't even see them coming back to be enhancement talents for anybody else.
It's not. It's a long shot making the WWE. You know what I mean? At least it's something you can put on your resume. Like I said, it helps these other talents. Like, hey, I've worked on TV. I've worked on live TV before. I've learned to work in front of hard cameras. And if you're the smart guy, if you're a smart guy going back, you ask questions, you talk to people. You ask questions. If you're sitting there in front of Seth Rollins, are you just going to sit there and be nervous to talk about him? Or are you going to see he's free and say, hey, can I ask you a question? Introduce yourself and, hey, can I ask you a question? What do I do about ask questions. You're around these people. And I think that's more of if I'm Triple H, that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at, okay, how are they reacting to being part of this? Are they marking out? Or are they acting cocky? Are they being humble? Are they asking questions? Are they being students of the game? Because that's what I would look for. Okay, this guy, he's sitting there. Yeah, he's yapping it up with everyone, but he's asking questions. He's asking about how these cameras work and what to do when they're on a commercial break. Blah, blah, blah. Like
I'd be a humble mark. That would be my definition. Humble mark.
I wouldn't even say mark.
Time I'm in catering. The first time I'm like backstage, humble mark. Because I'm going to be marking out. There's no doubt about it. I mean,
but I feel like.
But I'm going to be so respectful.
I think I would just try to grasp in as much knowledge because I don't know when the next time I'm going to be here is. So I would try to grasp in as much knowledge from the people that are there, that are permanently there, that I can be like, even if it's a little bit, okay, I can apply that to the indie scene now, and maybe somebody will see that, oh, I'm applying these techniques I learned from WWE, even if it was being there for 24 hours, you know what I mean, or a 2-day shot or a loop, you know. I learned as much as I can.
Yeah.
Now,
Definitely, definitely.
in the next match, this was a surprise to me. Seth Rollins defeats Bobby Lashley for the United States Championship, and for the second time in his career, Seth Rollins is the WWE United States Champion.
But I think we should talk about the prelude to that, because what we just talked about, this felt like a night after WrestleMania.
Yes.
And that's exactly what happened when Brock Lesnar returned and took out Bobby Lashley before the title defense.
Yes. Yes.
You know, I did not see that coming.
So this is part 2 of the Bobby Lashley Brock Lesnar feud, and the best way to do it is he beats him up before a championship match, which allows the ultimate opportunist. I'm sorry, Edge, that is no longer your moniker. I think he's lost that to Seth Rollins just based on Seth Rollins' history. And Seth Rollins picks up the United States Championship, second time in his career. I think it's about time we see him with a championship. I'm not saying he has to be a world champion, but a mid-card championship. It's kind of like the United States Championship. I feel needs to have that prestige as much as the Intercontinental Championship, because when you think about WCW United States champions, we kind of have Ricky Steamboat, who is also an Intercontinental Champion. You know what I mean? There's so much prestige behind that belt too, and I think Seth Rollins kind of fits in with that wrestler's belt, you know, and I think that's what he can make this is that wrestler's belt, that workhorse's belt.
I think both titles have lost their prestige, both of those mid-card titles recently.
Well, for reasons like that, we call them mid-card titles. I mean, and that is what they are. I'm not saying, you know, that's not what they are. They are, but they used to back in, I'm sure back in the 80s, nobody was calling them mid-card titles. I mean, no fan was calling them mid-card titles. They meant just as much. And now it's kind of like, okay, they're mid-card. We need some prestige brought back to these.
Yeah, I would like to see Triple H do that. If
there's no meaning behind the belt, then why have the belt? Why have 10 belts if only 2 of them have any meaning?
Yep. Speaking of, did you hear the rumor about them bringing back the European title?
I did hear that rumor. Yes, I did hear that rumor.
It's like supposed to be a lock.
Again,
like that belt is coming back now because of all the European talent.
Again, it has to be done the right way. Like, you can't make it mean something. Don't let it be another belt that nobody cares about, that nobody cares to watch. That's gonna open up the fucking shows and be lackluster. No, and have make that be what the Intercontinental used to be in the 80s. Make the United States belt what it used to be in the 80s.
That's actually
not that it was a mid-card belt, but it was second to the world champion. What that means is if you held the United States champion, you were probably next in line to be the WCW world champion. If you held the Intercontinental Championship, you were next in line to be WWF champion.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, I think Triple H is the person to do it, to bring prestige back to all championships. I think he probably has that on his list.
Yeah.
I would hope so. I would hope so.
I mean, he's been a former Intercontinental Champion himself. You know, the lineage behind that.
When the title meant something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, when he had it, man, it felt like a main event belt.
I think the last time either of those belts were relevant was when The Miz had both of them. When the last time Miz was IC champion, that belt was big. The last time The Miz was the US champion, that belt was big.
I think it's lost its interest way back, bro. I think
way back.
I mean, the way WWE treated the United States title and when it came in, you know, it kind of already came in as and then when they had the whole SmackDown 2002, 2003, now that's when the United States belt like really meant something. But the Intercontinental title belt, I don't think really meant too much at that point. Okay.
Like I said, it fluctuates.
It exactly. We need them to be on that. Not that again. Not that it's a mid card title, but that it's secondary to the world championship.
Yep.
If
That
you have those belts,
this
you're good
person
enough to
holding this
be.
title could as well be holding this title. That's
Yes.
what it needs to
Yeah. That yes. And it hasn't been that way in a long ass time.
be. Mm-hmm.
Our next match, we see Matt Riddle defeat Sami Zayn, the honorary Uce, the man who seems to have been taking control, being a second in command somehow, some way to Roman Reigns. I love
You know,
him in this role though, bro. It's been
now that it seems like the Ray Dominic storyline is over, this is now my favorite storyline
I've been a fan
because
of
you
this
know
ever since
this
they brought him in.
Sami Zayn
I thought they would have
is the
gotten rid of him
man.
by now, but they make him like okay, like he's leading everyone else.
The crowd just goes too crazy whenever he walks through that curtain.
Yeah.
That's why they can't end this, man. He is super over. He is probably the most over person right now. Every show, when you watch Raw, SmackDown, pay-per-views, NXT, listen to that crowd reaction for every single person that comes out. I think Sami Zayn is getting the loudest pop right now.
Behind Bray Wyatt.
That's what it looks like.
Behind Bray Wyatt.
Bray Wyatt is back for 2 shows. All right. Monday
but,
he didn't show up. They just previewed.
But what Sammy's been doing, it kind of like he's got the spotlight now, and he never really had that spotlight. And now it's kind of like he's a player. He's a player. You know, he's not on the bench anymore. You know.
And I love his rivalry with Jey Uso right now. I think that's
it's so
great.
fucking funny. I love he's bringing that comedic thing, and for me, I just can't wait until they do kick him out. Till Roman Reigns does kick him out, for the reason that he's going to become the biggest baby face in WWE.
Bro, I don't see it happening that way. I see the Usos losing the tag titles and Jey Uso being kicked out, bro. I see that happening.
I don't know, man.
Jey Uso is gonna be the one.
Only reason I say I want to see this is because I want to see now Sami Zayn. I want to see now Sami Zayn become the biggest babyface, have the whole sympathy thing, become the biggest babyface, and boom. Now we're gonna see a different Sami Zayn. Now we're gonna see somebody who can be a contender. You know, like that's what I want to see. I want to see the come up again, like I was saying about Austin Theory. I want to see him get broken down, and I want to see him rise up. Take away the bloodline from him, and him become the biggest babyface, because you know he's gonna get so much sympathy. If that happens, you know the reaction is gonna be so sympathetic for him, and he can be the biggest babyface, just like when he was in NXT and everyone loved him.
The wheels in the back of your head are turning to that. What I said, Jey Uso gets kicked out of the bloodline. Sami Zayn stays in.
I don't know.
I'm telling you, man.
I don't know.
The way that storyline is going, that's what I see happen. The way Roman Reigns is treating the both of them, I can see it. I can see it. I can see Sami Zayn winning the one-on-one match, and Roman Reigns kicks Jey Uso out of the bloodline. Jey Uso was already not in the bloodline once. He earned his way in. Sami Zayn earned his way in. Now they're both gonna fight to see who stays, and it's gonna be fucking Sami Zayn that stays in the bloodline.
I don't know, man. That would be funny if it did happen. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know if that's the I'm thinking. I hope so. I'm thinking.
I hope so. I would love to see
Okay, say that does happen, right? Sami Zayn. Eventually, Sami Zayn gets kicked out at some point. At some point. You know what I mean? That's what I mean. Like, the sympathy he's going to get. I think what's going to happen is he somehow costs Roman Reigns in some little way. He costs him the championship in some way. And that's it.
That would be interesting.
I don't know. I'm thinking you got my wheels turning. So I'm fantasy booking here. All right.
Yeah, hell yeah. That's what it is. You know, we're speculating and our ideas, man. But I would love to see that. Sammy and Jay fight for their spot in the bloodline. Sammy wins it. I would love to see it.
In our next segment, we had the Judgment Day come out. And it seemed like AJ Styles was going to join the Judgment Day. He talked about how he needed to be with his friends. They had a nice little hug. And Finn Balor's like, I knew you'd come around, and AJ Styles gets this look in his eyes and he goes, I wasn't talking about you. And the OC's music hits and they return to WWE. And that was quite a shocker. That was quite a shocker.
Yep.
And it seems like
also gave it that big Raw feel.
It seems like the Bullet Club in WWE is back together. WWE's version of the Bullet Club. Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, AJ Styles, and it seems like they're going after Judgment Day now.
I like it. I think what a great rivalry too, because Finn Balor was part of the Bullet Club with all three of them. So I mean, I think this is going to be great. I do wonder who their girl is going to be because they're supposed to be a match with all of them, and they're supposed to have a girl as their partner. So I wonder where that's going to go. How is that going to work in? But that's their plans for Survivor Series. I don't know if you saw those plans for Survivor Series.
No.
I think I shared it. So yeah, that's the match. It's going to be the OC with a mystery woman against the Judgment Day, and then War Games. It's going to be the Bloodline versus the Wyatt Six, but not the female of the Wyatt Six. It's going to be the 5 dudes.
Interesting. Now a little. I got a little inside scoop for the people, Punn. Just a little inside scoop. Apparently, at Raw, I got vanilla, chocolate, whatever scoop you want. I got it for you right now. Serving it up. All right. I had a little inside scoop that Gallows and Anderson signed their contract Monday night. And not only that, Anderson, who's a current NJPW New Japan, for those that don't understand an acronym, he is the never open weight champion, and he will be defending that belt in November, but they signed their contracts for WWE Monday night, and there's a little rumor that a New Japan Pro Wrestling representative was there backstage at Raw, and he seemingly talked to Triple H. So that could mean that could open up a door of worms right there. That can open up a can of worms right there. But could it be just to negotiate the Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows thing, or could it be to open up, quote unquote, another forbidden door?
I think the forbidden door would be the great way to go because there's so much more that New Japan can do under the WWE belt than they can do under the AEW belt.
Well, AEW's Forbidden Door event was a success. It was a success, and Triple H has always said he's been open to working with other promotions. And to hear that New Japan was New Japan representative was backstage, it's something to speculate.
About the dollar signs,
what?
When you think about the dollar signs, New Japan will get more dollar signs from WWE than they did from their successful AEW run.
Okay. Yeah.
This is $1 billion enterprise.
I know a lot of people
not there yet.
A lot of people are gonna sit there right now and say, "Oh my God, it'll never happen. It's WWE. They're gonna fuck it up." There's gonna be a lot of those cynical fans out there that are gonna say this. But what I'm saying is, if this is true, if this is true, then why not just open up your mind and open up the door a little bit? Let's see if it can work. Think
about how many New Japan stars are in WWE right now: Gallows, Anderson, AJ Styles,
Nakamura.
Think about
Lesnar was in New Japan at one point.
But I mean, people that became stars over there.
Yeah.
And now are here. All right. And you gotta think about it. Now we have these matches. Oh my God. Just imagine Okada versus Roman Reigns.
All right, there you go. Now you're gonna drive the marks crazy now because they're all gonna be, oh my God, no, that'll never happen. Roman Reigns and Okada, it's two different wrestling. Fuck you. Okay, I'm gonna tell you right now, fuck you. Okay, I think that would be a money match Because what wrestling
I
is
would
about
like
is
to see
putting
that.
asses in seats, and I think that would put asses in seats. Just the thought of that is like, okay, WWE versus New Japan, Okada versus fucking Roman Reigns. No, it's not. It's not going to be a New Japan style match. No, it probably won't be. But the money, that'll be a money. That's a WrestleMania match. That's the money you pay to see.
That
That's the
exact.
money
That's the
worth
money.
paying $60 for a pay per view.
Yep. Just for that one match.
And I, like you said, I think they can make more money with
I think so.
WWE than they can with AEW. And I mean, that's just my opinion. It's
And
your
that's
opinion.
only because AEW is not there yet. They're only 3 years old. All right, they have a lot of growing left to do. It's nothing against AEW.
And it wouldn't be
It's
the
just this
first.
is a $1 billion franchise that's been around for over 70 years. I mean, it's been built from the ground up. They have endless money to spend. I think what they can do with New Japan is, we'll get New Japan more money. I'm not even
It,
saying more eyes, just money wise
it
than
wouldn't
AEW.
be. It wouldn't be the first time WWE and New Japan partnered up. Back in the day, back in the '80s and the '70s, they were
Yeah,
partnered up. It didn't work.
yeah.
As well because again, it's like I said in your house episode of the watch along. Fans weren't ready for that style yet. Now we feed off it. Now we want it so bad. Fuck it, let WWE give it to it on a grand stage.
Yeah, it wasn't the time back then. It wasn't the time. Though these two words didn't coexist in the 80s.
Now we close out the show with the anniversary of D-Generation X. This is the season premiere of Monday Night Raw, closed out with D-Generation X's anniversary in classic DX style. One person was missing, and that's because he signed to AEW and he's currently on AEW TV. They tried. Triple H has said he tried to get him, and Road Dogg said they tried to get Billy Gunn. Things didn't work out. They couldn't get him, but nonetheless, we had DX, in all its glory, closing out Monday Night Raw.
Yes, and they gave us everything that they are known for. Everybody did
It
their
was a
feuds.
classic nostalgic act. Good for ratings, I'm
X
sure.
Pac shouted out China. She should have been there if she was alive, all that. It was great that they mentioned her
Yeah,
and didn't they even mentioned Billy Gunn with the crowd.
yeah,
You know, when the Road Dogg did his host feud, he had the crowd say badass Billy Gunn.
yeah.
So I mean,
And that's the
it
thing.
was
It's not like they were
awesome
trying to
that he
jab. It's like he couldn't be there, and I'm sure they all tried to get Billy.
and none of them got
Whatever broke down between them and AEW, you to get Billy Gunn there. Which if I was AEW, I think the smart thing would have been for me to send
there you
Billy
go.
Gunn. Think about that. My talent is now on WWE TV live on a Monday
Yeah.
night.
Talk about the forbidden door.
Yeah, when
That,
probably
that, that
probably
that's the,
airing
the
on a
be
Monday
all.
night, Billy Gunn would be on Dark, airing on YouTube. You
That's
know
the
what I
be
mean?
all of end all is when that happens. An AEW superstar is live on Raw or SmackDown.
And why
That's
not?
the forbidden door.
Why does there have to be this tribalism? Why can't it be okay?
Yeah,
What's good for ratings for both of us? Okay,
word.
what if a WWE talent showed up on AEW? What if an AEW talent showed up on WWE? It'd be good for both. It goes back to the Monday Night Wars, and I hate to be that guy that's like, oh, like '90s were the best, but Monday Night Wars when DX invaded WCW, and they were saying if they would have just opened up those gates and let us happen, the TV history we would have made to see WCW and WWE reacting live on television. It would have made television history. It would have been both good for
Yep.
both companies if they would have just literally opened up the doors. Here we're figuratively saying, open up these doors.
I wonder where it's gonna go. I don't think AEW and WWE may ever work together, but it would be great if they did.
It would benefit AEW a lot more. That's the problem
Yeah.
in wrestling. And nobody wants to make money together. It's got to be my money, my money, my money. Why can't it be everybody's money? Why can't everybody profit off of it? Why can't we all just, like Biggie Smalls would say, why can't we all just get along?
Yeah. I hope so. I would like to see that. I'm just thinking, imagine Matt Riddle interrupting an Orange Cassidy promo.
Yeah.
That's a
Yo, that would
money
be
match
dope.
right there.
He's
That's
in
a
the
money match right there.
he because you know how Orange Cassidy don't talk, right? Everyone can think he's about to talk. He picks up the mic and all you hear is bro. And
Bro.
yo, come
No.
on, bro. I mean, we're fantasy booking here again, guys. We're fantasy book, but
But
just tickle your
just
mind
think
with that,
about
you
the
know?
possibilities if everybody worked together.
Yeah. Well,
Endless. Endless.
we're gonna move on to our next topic, which is SmackDown from Friday night. Um, I noticed that there's been a lot of mixing between Raw and SmackDown lately. Which is why I don't get the whole brand split thing. I don't get the whole Rey Mysterio going to SmackDown thing, which we're gonna talk about in this part.
And I did read about a draft coming up, possibly.
Jesus.
I did read
So
about that. And they are doing a lot of crisscrossing. So, what would be the point of another draft?
our first match is Sami Zayn versus Kofi Kingston. And now it's funny because the lead up to this match, we had Roman Reigns call Sami Zayn and pretty much tell him to make sure he wins and everything. Then puts Jey Uso on the phone and pretty much from the phone call that he got, pretty much scolded Jey Uso and said, "Make sure Sammy gets the win." Jey Uso has been pretty mad, which with Sami Zayn and Sami Zayn pretty much being a member of Uso and him taking it as far as he has, really in his mind thinking he's an Uso. He's one of
And
the
do you
no
hear his new
eyes.
music? Do you
Yes,
hear
I
his
did.
new solo music?
I did hear it.
It's Samoan like.
Yeah. So it's,
I love it. I fucking love it.
but
Sami Zayn is the most over.
Sami Zayn does win, but with the help of Jey Uso. And Sami Zayn backstage is telling Jey, "No, I did it myself. I did it on my own. Oh, you got to stop with this attitude you have, you know." And it's just the funniest thing. It's like I can't wait to see Jey Uso and them, like you said, them go at it. And I can't wait to see the big payoff to where Sami Zayn gets his heart broken. You know, like those are the two things I'm looking forward to.
I want to see Jey Uso cry.
It looked like he was about to cry on Friday.
Let's go.
He's like, he played it off well though. He played it off well. During the match, MVP and Almost interrupt Braun Strowman and pretty much call him out, and we see this build toward this feud between Almost and the Monster of Monsters, Braun Strowman, and MVP pretty much said, "Oh, you call yourself the Monster of Monsters, but you see Almost, you look like a normal person compared to him." So they're kind of building towards that, but I just hate how it's like they're doing the same thing on Raw that they do on SmackDown. It's like, no, like switch it up. Let them do something
Yeah.
different.
Yeah. Especially they are already proven monsters. So I feel doing this is like a waste of time. You know, put them against actual superstars if you want to do that, not enhancement talent. That's just my opinion on it.
Yeah.
I think the match is
There's
going
a
to be great.
there's enough talent. There's enough talent they could do it with, you know?
Mm-hmm.
In our third match, we had LA Knight defeat Mansoor. That's the name, Mansoor. Mansoor. But we have LA Knight, who now he's brought back the LA Knight gimmick. And the only thing I don't like about this is how it was just in the middle of everything. They could have at least finished off a feud and then have him become LA Knight instead of kind of throwing him in the middle of all of this.
I am the game. I change your name back.
Yes, okay, I get it. But finish off the story first, you know. And
Did you know what they said? They did on SmackDown. I don't know if you listened to Michael Cole. He divorced himself from the Dupree family and changed his name. Is what they said on SmackDown. If you
I didn't catch that. But
yes, that's what Michael Cole said.
I all right, we need to get him away from this whole gimmick right here with Mansoor and the models and get him away from that. Now get him into like an intercontinental division. You know what I mean?
That's
Like
what that promo after the match was for.
Yeah, kind of like to break off from that. I think that's what's needed. Well done. to kind of break it off with that promo. I want to see more from LA Knight. He's a talent. He's talented as fuck. He's good at cutting promos. I want to see him kind of go for bigger things now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
In our fourth match tonight, we had Damage Control take on Raquel Rodriguez, Roxanne Perez, and Shotzi in a 6-woman tag team match. I love the spotlight on the woman lately. This is a great This is a great 6-woman tag team match. Big fan of Damage Control. I love Roxanne Perez. I've seen her on the Indies, and Shotzi is great. I think she's a great character that connects with the fans. And the talent in the ring. You mesh all of those women together, and it wasn't a bad match. And I noticed that between Raw and SmackDown lately, they haven't been really bad matches. There's nothing you can really say, oh, that was no. That's it. There's been good matches, except for maybe the handicapped enhancement matches.
But I also feel that's because the roster is energized now with the Triple H takeover.
You see it, you see it in the ring. It's like, all right, now they want to go,
Yep.
But that was a great match, and we see Roxanne Perez picked Raquel Rodriguez to be her pick your poison for NXT this week. Do you think that Bailey is going to be her opponent for the pick your poison?
I don't know.
I like the idea of mixing the WWE roster with NXT. I like that.
Cora Jade is supposed to be going over to Raw to pick her opponent, right? Yeah.
I guess.
Cora Jade is supposed to be going to Raw, is what they said. They said, I think that's what they said. Roxanne went over.
But Bailey wrestled on Raw this week. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying because I'd like to see Bailey return to NXT and kind of do that.
I do like what they're doing with moving people to NXT. Yeah. I like this Apollo Crews.
Sonya Deville. Sonya Deville going to NXT this week.
Yeah, I mean, she's back.
I like it. It keeps things interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It does. In our fifth match, we had a team two teams that we are fans of, Legado del Fantasma and Hit Row, in a tag team match. Legado del Fantasma got the win over the Hit Row. I love what they've been doing on SmackDown since the call up. These two teams great in NXT. I didn't think they had quite a long run in NXT as far as Hit Row is concerned. No,
but they did rival each other in NXT.
They did rival each other, and I think now they're doing great things on the roster. Like, I think we're gonna see them break out of that kind of we're rookies here thing, and be like, no, we're here. Like this is we're on SmackDown. This is our brand, and they're putting on phenomenal matches. They're seeing that chemistry in the ring, and again, Triple H is kind of allowing these guys to just go out there.
Yep, I'm liking it. I'm really liking it. I think it's only going to get better as the weeks go by. And I won't be surprised if we see more returns coming back.
Yeah. And speaking of seeing people on Raw go to SmackDown, we have Rey Mysterio who has to talk to Triple H. And he tells Triple H that everything going on with Dominic, he can't take it anymore. He's not going to fight his own son, that he wants to quit WWE. And Triple H says there has to be another way. We can come up with this. And that solution is Rey Mysterio is now moving to SmackDown. And like we were talking about with our Raw topic, does this put the storyline with Judgment Day dead in the water? Especially with OC now being involved with Judgment Day. I see how you feel, Punn. With everything kind of, it's like, okay, it's weird. It's like, why not just finish the story and then do, like, at least finish the story. Don't just break up thing. It goes to the LA Knight thing, and I was just talking about. Just ride this out, finish it off, and then move Rey to SmackDown. Have him wrestle Dominic, and if Dominic wins, Rey has to leave Raw. Boom.
Yep.
Okay, boom. I mean, I don't think it's as good of a payoff as what I was talking about the WrestleMania father versus son
Yeah,
match.
like I feel they just teased us. They
Yeah,
teased us like we're gonna get this big father son match
but my
eventually, and then to bitch out Rey Mysterio because I feel that's what they did to him. They bitched him out, made him go quit like a little baby. Triple H take him like a little kid. Hey, let's figure this out, you know. And then to make him not look like a little bitch, they have him win in the
yeah,
main event later.
which is the next match, the main event of the evening.
Which
Uh,
I think I don't like it. I don't like them killing that storyline with Dom. I don't like them making him seem like a bitch and then making him seem like he's the top superstar now on
yeah,
SmackDown
it's weird.
because of
My
this big
question
win.
is why break up the story? Like, why move? What was the decision to move him to SmackDown? Um, it's just out of the blue. It was not expected. I understand surprises, but that was not a good surprise. That was just I think it just left fans confused as to okay, because we really wanted to see Rey Mysterio and Dom eventually clash. That was a big payoff that they were building towards, and now it's just dead in the water.
And honestly, with this Sheamus build up, I wanted to see Sheamus win this 4-way. I
Yeah,
wanted to see
well,
Sheamus get that belt off of Gunther.
we'll talk about
I mean,
that. We'll talk about that right now because Rey Mysterio defeated Ricochet, Sheamus, and Solo Sika for the Intercontinental Championship #1 contenders match. Um, they just kind of gave it to Ray. He just came to SmackDown. It's weird. Again, I would have liked to see Sheamus too to go on and face Gunther and have another banger with Gunther.
oh, there's something we did miss to talk about from here on SmackDown. At the beginning, Karrion Cross got hit by a car
Oh yeah, Karrion Cross got
and was
hit.
taken
Yeah,
out of this match.
yeah,
So I see why they took him out. The match they advertised it for the match. They didn't want him to lose the match and look weak.
yes,
So they did this Drew McIntyre ran him over thing, and that's what it looks like.
yeah.
It looks like Drew McIntyre
But I
ran him
think that
over.
makes
Then
McIntyre look like a heel.
yep, it looks like yeah, exactly. That's what it looks like. Having him get run over by a truck.
But Rey
So
Mysterio is now the #1 contender. I think he's just gonna get his ass beat by Gunther next week or
yeah,
something like that. You know what I mean?
I think that was stupid to do. I didn't like it. Like when you think about Rey Mysterio versus Gunther, how many times has Mysterio fought giants?
Yeah,
I mean, I see what they're doing with the match already, and
yeah,
I don't know. I think Ray should have just had that big payoff match, even if they held off until Royal Rumble WrestleMania before that big one-on-one match.
yeah.
This rivalry would have been so fucking beautiful,
I agree.
beautiful, beautiful. Would have been,
I agree.
so
And we close out SmackDown with the returning Bray Wyatt giving an emotional speech to the crowd here, and to the WWE universe watching at home about how much he missed them and how much the fans pretty much helped him in his time away, and he has so many questions of why, and it was really different side of Bray we've seen.
mhm. You saw the
Um,
tears. You
we
knew it was
seen
real emotion.
it was really emotional, and then we cut to Gimmick, and we see this new mask of his and his, I guess, new persona. Um, and it makes you think like okay, is this gonna be like a split personality thing? And it got me thinking. I don't know if you've seen the movie Split or heard of the movie Split, where the guy has like 7 different personalities. I think that's what they're gonna do here, something like that, where it's like he's kind of schizophrenic and he's bipolar and he's gonna have all these different
So you
personalities.
think
So we're
you think
seeing the
all the
real
characters
Bray,
are
but these
versions
other
of themselves?
we see the real Bray, but these other characters won't let him. You know what I mean? They won't let him be. You know what I mean? He's dead.
That's
No.
interesting.
I
That's
think it's
interesting.
gonna be very
I
hard.
don't think it's gonna be like that, but that's interesting.
I think it's gonna be very horror movie like. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
again, this is only his first appearance, like since coming back, so we don't know what to expect. Well, ladies and
I,
gentlemen, On behalf of John Punn and myself, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for tuning in to the Four Corners podcast on the Four Corners Network. If you want to stay updated on everything we have, whether it's audio, video, the news we post, you can find us above Punn's head at Four Corners Net. That's at number Four Corners Net on all social media platforms. Punn, let the people know where they can find you.
All right, you can find me on all social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at John Punn. That's simple JONPUNN. That's where I'm at, above my head.
And you can find me on all social media platforms at Rex Wrestles. That's REXWRESTLES, Rex Wrestles. Again, thank each and every one of you for tuning in to the Four Corners Network. As always, be excellent to each other and keep supporting pro wrestling.